if Star Wars Battlefront 3 were to ever actually happen. All right, let's get after it. At number 10, we have better customization. People seem to want more customization options, like, mixing and matching armor sets for clones, or maybe altering the way your rebel fighter looks, or what he or she is wearing. Really, just, I think, simple customization options, that's all. You've got Rey in the game, or, Anakin, and you want, his hood up or down, something like that. Just like really, really simple customization options, I think would be good. But I don't think personally I wouldn't want it to get too detailed. But nonetheless, it is something that I've seen all over the internet that people want better customization in a Battlefront 3. Moving on to number 9, a different campaign. Or like different campaign scenarios, similar to a Battlefield 1 story, if you've ever played that. So I've seen this quite a few times, and I would say I 100% agree with this. So there's just so many story options, or, something that they could do as far as a campaign goes in a Star Wars game. So because there's so much to choose from, I think that really, you could go really do anything on the dark side of the Force, the light side of the Force. I mean, you could go, there's tons of different battles, as we said, that you could cover. It could be missions in the Clone Wars, or it could be, some of the things that we've already seen. But again, I just think that there's so many things that you could do as far as a story is concerned, or a campaign in the game, that it would be really, really cool if you just did different scenarios, like we said, just like they did in Battlefield 1. Moving on to number 8, a higher player count. I'm not going to really say I either, agree or disagree. I think it'd be cool. What if there were 100 player matches? I know in Battlefield 2042, they have 128 player lobbies, right? So it's certainly something that they could do. But with that being said, obviously, I think this is something that would be for current gen consoles, obviously. And again, and having said that, I think that if a Battlefront 3 were to happen, really, I think it would be for next gen consoles, really. I mean, I don't think it's really going to come out for the PS5 or the Xbox Series X anytime soon. I think we could all agree on that. So if it does happen, I think it would be on the next gen consoles anyways. Okay, moving on to number 7. A better balance between heroes and, just your average soldiers on the battlefield. So, again, this is something I don't really agree with or disagree with. I think I've ran into, both sides of this. So I've seen a lot of people really complaining, like I said, both ways. So, you're either saying that the heroes are too weak or that the heroes are too strong. And as soon as you run into, say, like Darth Maul, on the battlefield, you're cooked. Again, I've ran into it both ways, whether I'm playing as a hero or as I'm just, just an assault class, and I run into, say Finn, and I just get melted, I think it's fine. I think, if you get melted by, Darth Sidious, you're like, okay, damn it, I get it. But I've also ran into situations where, I've cooked Kylo Ren before. He's missed me, and I just, dive behind him, shoot him a couple of times, and he's dead, whether his health was already low. But, yeah, I mean, I guess, like I said, I could agree with both sides, so I'm not going to say, either one way or the other. Moving on. So, number 6. Yeah, a Battle Royale mode centered around the Clone Wars. I've seen this all over. No, I really don't think that we need this. Really, if you want a Star Wars Battle Royale experience, go play Fortnite. Literally, right now. You can literally go play Star Wars Battle Royale right now. Would I try it? Sure. But do I think that there needs to be a Battle Royale mode in Battlefront 3? Absolutely not. But, again, I think it's something that we would try, but we don't need it. Moving on. Number 5, a true Galactic War experience similar to, and I'm going to reference it again, Battlefield 1 Operations. So this ties into, one of the things we'll talk about a little later, but imagine, the air, ground, and space combat in rotation. So say you lost the first battle, right? So to even the odds, your team now gets to command from top to bottom, right? All manual, a massive AT-AT. I mean, wow. like in Battlefield 1 operations when your team would get the Zeppelin. I mean, come on, right? Right? Seriously, I mean, you can kind of already do this in Galactic Assault in the game, in Battlefront 2, on certain maps, though, but you can't drive it. It's on rails, right? None of it's manual, and you just operate the guns. It's cool, but, wouldn't it be so much cooler if you could, like I said, manually operate the AT-AT, shoot the guns? It's squad-based, so if somebody in your squad dies, okay, now the guns are down, somebody needs to spawn in and help out. That would be so cool. That'd be nuts, dude. Moving on. Number 4, removing star cards. So, again, this is highly debatable, but, this almost goes hand in hand with, I'd say, number 7 that we already talked about, the better balance between heroes and soldiers, but pretty much what I said in regards to that, I feel the same way. Yes, I mean, star cards give you an incremental advantage on the battlefield, but if you're skilled enough, right, if you're good enough at the game, you shouldn't really have to worry too much or complain too much about star cards. I mean, besides, they offer another element of customization, right? But, I mean, geez, I've been cooked by somebody that doesn't even have any of their star cards unlocked, And then if I'm all geared out and I have my star cards maxed out on a character, I don't really feel like a tank. But at the same time, if I've been playing a game a lot longer than you have and I have more star cards unlocked than you, or say I've, spent a lot of time on one hero and the star cards are maxed out, well, then, I grinded on that hero and my star cards are maxed out. But, I mean, again, it just goes back to, your skill in the game. I think that the star cards aren't really making, it's not really pushing anyone's favor in either direction. I don't think it's really that big of a difference. I think it's just a small incremental difference compared to somebody that doesn't really have any star cards unlocked at all. I'd actually love to see a video where somebody has no star cards unlocked and they're just good at Battlefront 2 and they just show you that, see, star cards don't matter. But, yeah. Anyways, moving on. So, number 3, adding fan-favorite heroes like, we got Ahsoka, Mace Windu, Qui-Gon Jinn, of course, Jango Fett, Cassian, Mando. We could go on. I mean, there's a ton of heroes that could be added. I don't think a lot needs to be said about it. But, yeah, it's obviously just heroes or characters within the Star Wars universe that we would all want to play as if a Battlefront 3 was to, ever happen. Moving on. Number 2. EA doesn't make the game. Whoa. Okay, so EA, as we all know, is a very greedy company, right? I think based on what we've seen so far, that if a Battlefront 3 does happen, EA won't be publishing it anyway. So IGN, you've probably all seen, they revealed an email from the EA president stating that they will be focusing on a handful of IPs, their own IPs, right, moving forward, including Battlefield, The Sims, Skate, and Apex Legends. So I think, and their sports titles. So I think that the odds of EA doing a Battlefront 3 really are slim to none. I don't think it's going to happen. The Black Panther game, this ties into that too. The Black Panther game got canceled, the closure of Cliffhanger Games. I really just don't see EA doing a Battlefront 3 anyways. So we probably got our wish there. And then here we go. We got number 1. Seamless space-to-ground combat. I think this is the number one thing I've seen all over the internet that people want if a Battlefront 3 game was to ever happen. So yes, I mean, obviously, this would be absolutely epic. But, I think it would be a huge challenge for them, whoever ends up making a Battlefront 3 if it happens. I think it'd be a huge challenge. To make the player not feel as though they're playing 2 different maps at 2 different times, like in Supremacy right now, right? Where, it is fun, but it's not seamless, right? There's that cutscene, and then you go up to space, and yeah. So I think it'd be a massive challenge. Do I think it's possible? Absolutely. But it would be hard. It'd be very, very hard. Yeah. So there you go. There you have it. There are the top 10 things that a lot of people seem to want if a Battlefront 3 game was to happen. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments. What do you want if a Battlefront 3 were to happen? What's your wish list? Go Go ahead and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.